seems like a good idea. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the one thing is how do you enforce it though? I mean, that's one thing I wonder because we have like, for instance, we have an anti-idling ordinance
Okay.
in our city,
Uh-huh.
which like, how do you
Yeah.
enforce it? Right?
Yeah.
How do
It's
you?
almost impossible to enforce for an idling, yes.
Mhm.
But I mean, I would say you probably get consumers and customers
Mm,
being your
mm,
natural watchdogs because
Mhm.
we care about this
Yeah.
and we be frequenting the businesses that
Mm.
are using these items. And
Mhm.
I mean, I have friends that are like, they're still using straws and they're like write letters.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they'll complain to the management.
I think
So,
this is a great way. I've seen, so I've lived abroad and I've seen, restaurants do this actually, really reinforce getting some sort of reimbursement there, or like, what was the company that did it? Pret a Manger. Like, so if you brought in your own reusable cup, they actually give you a 50-cent discount.
right, they give you
Yeah.
discounts.
Yeah. So that's another like a pot somehow encouraging businesses and restaurants to promote some sort of, like I said, some sort of refund, some sort of positive incentive, and that's instead of doing something punitive, right? And maybe that might work. I know for Pret it did work, and I don't know if they're still doing it, but in the beginning it really took off.
In the staff proposal, is there anything in there that has like teeth into it? I mean, so there's one thing to like, so like for instance, New York, they have an anti-idling ban there, but the way they enforce it actually is they crowdsource it. So everyone has like an app, and then actually it's crazy. I think I read one guy, I think he made $90,000 1 year. So now they can report it, but you can get money for it. So like,
No way.
so if they actually they actually film someone like idling, right? Then they actually get money for it.
I think that's an
goodness.
amazing
So
idea.
we use
Crowdsourcing. Like I was saying, use the public and use their energy and their devotion to this subject to the advantage of the environment and to the city, because you don't need to hire or just ask. We can do it.
I know, for example, there's a Girl Scout troop that got about 10 to 15 restaurants to sign the petition to skip the straw.
Oh, is this the one that came to council?
Yeah. This was last year.
Yeah. We had one that they were like trying to ban straws.
Exactly.
And they gave us like these paper straws.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So they got I think they got all the counter burgers to do it within the area. They had all 10 to buy into the pledge, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing. It's like you have these different environmental groups that could definitely
Schools, environmental groups, community members,
that could hold businesses accountable.
Girl Scouts. I mean, this is like a win for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like a feel good kind of measure to expedite this. And
well, that's why you think about enforcement, because I think this to me sounds like in general like why would you not do it?
Right.
But the problem is like enforcement. Like so we have this anti-idling, which is great, but like where my office, you guys been there?
Yeah.
It's on El Camino. And it's right next to like I think Paul's most favorite burrito shop.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
So that burrito shop like super busy, right?
Yeah.
And so I can tell you that the anti-idling thing is like a big joke because there's like these trucks that park right there, and they will like leave the truck running, go inside for an hour, and eat the burrito.
Oh no way!
So
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So like.
Could you write something? A lot of times people come, council members will have like something written. You're like, did you write that during the meeting? Like.
Oh well, so the problem is that there's no right now. It's like so we have. In fact, some people will say that we have too many ordinances that we don't enforce. But this is one of them. Like, so we have anti-idling, which is a good idea, but how do you enforce it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like the other issues, like people are parking, but not like, but the parking is not getting enforced, right? So there's even other issues. And so the police, we have
a lot to
there's like exactly. So like I'm gonna call the police for it. So
idling, it's just not
it's
really
really
not a good use of money as well.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the other thing to be thought about is how do you enforce it, right? Because it's one thing to be in a law, because we have a lot of laws, and most of them aren't really well enforced. So how do we like what as an example of this? What do you put behind it so that it actually happens, because having a law and having it actually be effective are, you know, are hard, right? Or like, for instance, like my company, right? We we totally ban all paper plates and all disposables, right? Because I believe it. So, I force it down, right?
Yeah.
Even though it costs us more money, right, to do it this way.
Yeah.
But most other companies like, we just buy, go do a Costco run, and we'll buy forks and spoons and plates and just chuck it every.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like not as good. But it's like, how do you give incentives to like my company, or do you penalize the other companies? How do you, and who enforces it, right?
Yeah.
Or like for restaurants. So I think.
So what happens to public schools is so you have green waste management, right? And they do audits, and the schools actually get they actually I'm thinking of the word, they get dinged, right? For not sorting, making sure that the systems are working properly, right? So for example, if they find too many compostables in the recycling, well, the school actually, they don't lose points or what have you, but they do. It's recorded, right, that they didn't do it correctly. So as my responsibility as a zero waste champ was to try to promote waste being sorted properly, and it's quite a challenge within a public school because you have young children, and they do whatever they want.
Well, to be honest, sometimes I see like these different trash cans, right? And you see pictures and like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do, and you have your plate and you're trying to figure it out, like, okay, where do I dump different stuff, right? And sometimes it's not so clear, right?
That's why reusable is the way to go, rather than rely on recycling when only 9% has been recycled since 1950s, like plastics. So it's kind of like it's totally greenwashing. It's a farce.
And it doesn't doesn't green waste already do audits on restaurants? I think they already do some sort of audit, and they get recognized for trying to reduce their carbon footprint.
I don't know.
I've seen that around.
Businesses that are implementing the green waste recommendations.
I've seen that.
I mean, we could do that as well. But I love the idea of crowdsourcing and have the community.
We kind of crowdsource. So we have an app called 311. I'm not sure if you guys have it. So this app, I'll show it to you. It's Palto 311.
Okay.
This is the app.
Okay.
And so basically, you can see like all the requests that people make.
Okay.
And so it right now it's really for like potholes or like missing manhole covers and stuff like that. So like for instance, when I skateboard, like on Hanover, College Terrace, Hanover and California. There's a missing manhole cover.
Oh my goodness!
So
that's like good.
As
a skateboarder, sorry, it's not a manhole cover. It's not it's not quite the size of that manhole. It's like the size of a dinner plate. It's not
big enough to take a big.
Is it for electricity purposes?
It's one of those covers for the utility covers. Not quite manhole covers, like dinner plate size. And like on a bike, you probably
you hit that.
No, probably okay though. You probably on a regular size bike wheel, but on a skateboard, you're toast, right?
Exactly.
So I went with that app, and then I went there, and then I reported, hey, missing cover, right?
That's
and
great.
then like I think 2-3 weeks later, they put the cover back.
Wow.
Right? So that here you can see a bunch of stuff like the green roadway, graffiti removal. So maybe this could be extended to have something like this, right?
That could be part of the
Right.
That's great. That's a great idea.
But I mean, that's the thing that has to be thought of, is how do we not just do the law, because we don't want yet another law that we don't enforce. How do we, and ideally make it where it doesn't take a city staff person to enforce it.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, because that if you start doing that, and that's like how do we fund it? And,
Exactly, it gets into money.
So 311 would be an excellent idea.
Well, maybe it's a way to extend it, right? You say, hey, and this is like non-urgent stuff. You don't put in like, have a heart attack and go through or whatever. But it's for like missing manhole covers, missing.
There could be like an area just for this disabled, or just there, and then people just click on that and say, this is where I saw this, and
Oh, they do it for like abandoned shopping carts or litter or potholes, broken sidewalk, tree limbs. irrigation problems. So those like,
And who's responsible for following up on those?
you know what, I think it's routed to the appropriate department.
Okay. Okay.
And so, you know, the thing that we don't do in the city, and that's something which I'm trying to explore for my office is actually crowdsourcing enforcement, because I think we actually have a very active community that people care about this kind of stuff,
Right.
from like anti-idling to like zero food waste, you know, stuff like that, disposable food waste stuff, to like, you know, so I think we could rely more on crowdsourcing, right? And I think, but right now that's not ingrained in Palo Alto, really. I mean, we don't have that kind of mechanism, but maybe we should. Maybe we should have a mechanism where people can report these issues, right? And that, like for instance, like on like I don't know, if we try to rely on police officers to do this, it'd be just crazy, right? I mean, just so crowdsourcing that probably makes a lot of sense. Or could we crowdsource this somehow, right?
I do like this. This is off the Palo Alto site. So that's the Last Straw campaign.
Oh, okay.
And I like how the you know, how the city really embraced.
So this is more through like just trying to give people some recognition, right?
Yeah, I love that.
That's the other
That's what
way
we
to do
need.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like maybe the restaurants that comply with this have put a sign in the window.
I think
There you
that,
go.
I think we could
Right.
do that. We could easily get a group of people. To
Oh yeah,
do that.
easily.
Or maybe like businesses, like for instance, my business, we totally ban all the plastic stuff, right?
Any
So-
business that is along the lines of zero waste,
Yeah.
we should be able to, you know, promote that sort of ideology and
Yeah.
consciousness.
This shows that they care about the environment, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it'd be actually a pro-business thing, because people
is,
might
yeah.
want to actually
Yeah.
go there instead of another
Sure.
that isn't utilizing the same.
Yeah, so I think that's something which, you know, maybe you know, it could be like there's punitive things you can do. There's
Exactly.
like carrots you could get like this, right? This crowdsourcing. So I mean, I'd love to. I mean, between now and the meeting, if you guys can think more about like how do we practically get something like this going without costing an arm and a leg of city dollars, right?
Exactly.
And but make it also like also practical for the people in the city, right? Like how do you do this without like like getting too much pushback, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Because if it's really controversial, then staff is gonna like be really like if they have to do a lot of work, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't like.
Right. When I was talking to Zero Waste, you know, they believe in this. They want this to happen. It's not like they don't like the idea of expediting this, but you know, they just felt like you know, they needed to take into account businesses that might, you know, balk at a 2-year time frame to implement, but kind of think that's a long time because to find alternatives, I feel that's pretty generous. 2 years. I mean, there's other places that are doing it now. So, you know, if we could just start the process now, and then, you know, publicly, you know, I mean, I know I do my part. I go to farmers markets and festivals, and I just teach people how to live plastic free as much as possible. That's where I got my signatures primarily. I'm on social media and just promoting how plastic pollution is definitely just like climate change. It works hand in hand. They're huge issues right now that we need to focus on, and it can't just be one or the other. They actually go hand in hand.
We could be the next Berkeley.
Well, I think about the publicity because, you know, Berkeley started it, and then Palo Alto is in line to do that, and how much of a great model we would be for other municipalities in the Bay Area and nationwide.
Well, I think Palo Alto likes to kind of lead in this kind of area, right? So
So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be wonderful press for the city,
course.
and it's like something everyone can cheer for.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas there's other things like cell phone towers where it's like sort of a bummer actually. But this is something that
Mm.
we can all gather around and make something work.
Yeah. I do think there are probably some businesses that would be concerned, right?
Of course.
I mean,
But boba tea, that's the thing. The first one on my mind. Yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
rely
right.
on plastic.
Yeah, how would they do it?
They're gonna have to be. Yeah, they're
They
gonna
have
have
2
to think
years to
outside of the
figure it
box.
out. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
I keep thinking to myself.
I mean,
2
definitely,
years to
So
know
they can do the
all
same
that.
thing that you said that I forgot which company that said you bring your own cup. Oh,
Yeah.
Bring your own.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So maybe if you
25-cent charge and then.
or maybe
Or a
do
rebate.
discount or a
You get-
rebate, right?
you get a
So,
rebate.
You get a rebate, right? So
Yeah.
if you bring in your own cup, right?
That's all right.
Your own bubble tea.
They can sell them.
And that's what they normally do. They
Make
do.
a profit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll go ahead and sell their own like tumblers or whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Starbucks. So
Yeah.
I think
I think
a model for that.
I think one issue is that how do you wash those things, right? The bubble tea cups.
So for the straws, you have a straw cleaner.
Okay.
You go with a metal straw
Okay.
or a bamboo straw,
Okay.
and you have a little straw cleaner in your kit,
Okay.
and you sell that with a metal or.
They would have to sell those. They would have to sell those
Yeah.
brushes for the boba straws.
Yeah.
It's not hard to come. I mean, my business, that's what we do. So.
Oh, what is your business do?
So it's a plastic free store.
Oh, okay.
So we're an e-commerce site, and
Oh,
so
nice.
we sell a lot of items.
That's awesome. So not only educate, you actually enable, right? So
Well,
that's great.
I'm giving them an alternative.
Yeah,
They have
that's
to have
great.
the alternative.
Yeah. That's
You
great.
can't change unless you already have something that they can change.
So many people just talk about it. There's very few that actually do something about it. So that's awesome.
We have to do. It's all about action.
Well, I mean, for me, it's just depending. 8 billion people, right? We're going to have 8 billion people soon, right?
Yeah.
Right, just in a few years, we're going to have 8 billion people,
Yeah.
and like,
What was it 2025, 2050? What's the benchmark there?
when we're
Yeah,
going to
8 billion.
I think we're at 7.8 already.
We're really close. I know.
You're going to hit
Oh,
8 billion like soon, right? And imagine if we all consume the same amount of plastic, same amount of gasoline, same amount of electricity as we do now, right? Like, what would this look like, right?
Exactly.
It's going to be pretty sad.
Well,
So
1 million species they're going to be extinct if we don't change our ways.
Yeah.
That's basically this is an emergency.
yeah. Well, and also like some of the stuff is pretty small. Like for instance, like riding electric scooter here. Actually, it's kind of fun, right? I mean,
Oh my goodness.
I ride my electric
I
skateboard
prefer
here.
it.
And like so I like snowboarding. But what are you doing in the summertime, right? You can only snowboard, but electric skateboarding is like snowboarding downhill all the time
Wow.
and no lift.
Exactly.
Right? So
That's right.
it's actually a lot of fun too, right? So like that's an example where instead of driving a 2-ton car, right, which consumes all that power, right, and all that pollution, I'm like snowboarding it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you could think about it, right? Or like for this, right? I mean, you still get to eat, right? It's still convenient, but we're just doing it a different way, right?
Right.
And it has a much lower
Okay.
footprint on the earth, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, so I think this kind of stuff is definitely the right kind of stuff you want to do to try to I'm not sure if you guys ever heard the concept of like spaceship Earth. No.
No.
Okay,
So
so
mothership.
yeah, it's kind of like so when people first landed on the moon, right, way back in the 70s, they took a picture of Earth, right, and you see that it's just a little blue globe in the sky, right? And in
That's
some
Carl
ways,
Sagan, the blue dot.
blue dot, yeah. And in some ways, like it's just like do you ever everybody the kids the little glass domes and it has that little ecosystem inside. You shine light on, and then you have the whole thing swimming. Terrariums, yeah. And it's all one stuff, like it's all like a sealed glass globe, right? And like if one thing's out of kilter, right? Like it becomes all algae or all the swimming things or whatever. Everything dies, right? And so it's kind of like that, right? We're kind of like on, to us a relatively big spaceship, but it's it's only so big, right? And you want to like take care of it, right?
That's right.
And you don't want you call it terrariums? Is that what you call it? Yeah, you don't want that terrarium to go like to die on you, right? So you want to take care of it, right? You want to make sure that you don't use resources effectively.
Yeah.
So I think if you guys can definitely think about, because you guys are closer to this than I am, I mean, I can just tell you my own personal thoughts, but
Mhm.
think about like what are like ways to enforce, and in fact, if we could do like phase 2, but really have good enforcement mechanisms.
Right.
Because for me, I think to have yet more ordinances that have no teeth in them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do we like really really make this happen? And also make it like a win for everyone, right? So
Right.
everyone kind of wins.
That's
That's
win-win.
yeah. So like it's not like, oh, we take on this one group versus another group, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
If you do hear, some businesses that say,
I haven't heard any. So
That's amazing.
If they amazingly show up or something and they say, this would be really hard on us, we would have to spend so much money, I think you could turn around and say, this is a ban that's in place for all businesses, so it's not as if one business is getting an advantage over you. And we are giving you, if all businesses have to charge for this takeout ware, you're not at an unfair advantage.
yeah, I think it is. It's the truth is, I think the reason why no one's really like written in about this is because nobody knows about it. Right. I think it's like
There was a notification sent out to businesses about this.
oh
When was that notification sent out?
I have it on email, but it was about 2 weeks ago.
okay, but a lot of businesses like mine included. I get
Maybe
probably
it was only the foodware business or something.
I probably get like 500
Restaurant.
or 1,000
Yeah.
a day, right? So maybe I got.
Are you using filters?
I should.
Yeah.
There's like a ton of emails. So it's
I can send you that email that I got.
yeah. Well, I just hope that other businesses really got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because what type of reaction would you have to get from how many businesses would you have to get before this would say, oh, we need to think about this more or something? What's the average?
it's not for me because like for me, I'm already kind of doing this, right? I mean, I'm definitely into this kind of stuff. So, but it's others, right? Staff, like what does staff think, right? And what does the other council members think, right? And so, because like on council, even though I'm not that close to council chambers, to the city hall, I'm like rain or shine, I'll bike or skate with them, right? I'll do it just because I believe that's strong about the environment.
Yeah.
My colleagues that live way closer than I do. They drive, right? I mean, so I think it depends on how people's commitment to environment is, right?
Yeah.
My commitment, I have a pretty high commitment just because I truly believe in this stuff. But a lot of my colleagues like, just drive my Mercedes to the meeting, and like I'll drive 2 blocks, in a Porsche. Like I mean, it's like okay,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's some. I mean, so I think it depends on who it is, right?
Exactly.
So for me, not gonna have much of an effect. I think for others,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. That's why it's good to think about, especially outside meetings. At the meeting, we're gonna have like 1 or 2 hours to talk about this,
Oh
and
wow.
we're not gonna have. It's like if after that time we have to figure out what to do, like some ideas, it's almost too late.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
we have to have the ideas ahead of time.
That's why we were coming to you now,
Yeah.
and we're also.
That's great because this is great.
We
because
can get
We have a
idea.
meeting.
I would not look at this till the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. You guys are really busy, and we thank you for all of your work that you do for our city. We love. I know that I love working here, so.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. So we have a ton of work.
Sure.
We're meeting with Mrs. McCormick and also Ms. Koo. We haven't set up any other meetings. They haven't gotten back to us, so hopefully the other council members and the mayor.
I think definitely do that, right? I mean, I think that'd be a great thing. In fact, here's the thing. You know what? Actually, so city council we get dinner, right? And the thing you would is that we actually use reusable. We have like ceramic plates and they actually have a dishwasher. So
Nice.
so I know at least on the council level we are trying to do the right thing,
That's
right?
awesome.
That's great.
But yeah, I know so many other companies that that just go with paper and disposables just because it's so much easier, right?
That's right.
But I think there's restaurants and whatnot, and those are probably easier to police. But I'm just thinking like for the companies, how do you do that?
Oh,
Because we have a lot of companies here. How do you, or even like homeowners, right? I mean, like you have a barbecue, right? And it's like, oh, do I want to like have to wash dishes, or should I use, should I like just go to Costco and do the Costco run thing, right? And I think a lot of people would just do the Costco run thing, even though it's probably not as eco-friendly, right?
You're gonna need whistleblowers everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
But
Whistleblowers.
maybe there should be some sort of like incentive. I don't
There
know.
has to be, yeah.
Just something. I mean, you could directly also just tax it, but we're also kind of a wealthy community, and like 5-cent tax, 10-cent tax, like
It's not a big deal. People will pay the.
Yeah.
I think Zero Waste was talking about kind of like mini grants for dishwashers for for businesses that qualify, which would be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, maybe that, or like
Or mini grants for the cutlery and the
or
sets.
like that website that it
Food
gives
website.
it gives credit to people who do things,
I
right?
really like the sign idea too.
There's also a company called GoBox, and they were around during the recent Palo Alto parade, and companies like that, if they were to come in and to promote GoBoxes as well, that'd be really cool because they take care of everything. They take care of the washing up, and then you. Yeah, and then you give the tray back or the container there, and then I think either you get your money back or you get half of it, something like that. But that's how they incentivize people to use the program. So, and I know, so I used to live in Singapore, so there were companies that would do that. They would position themselves in front of the company, and then when people were planning on doing takeout, they would get one of those GoBoxes, do takeout, and then eat, and then bring it back, and then that company would be stationed.
So another
So
thing
you get that.
along that
cycle
line is that a lot of people are doing apps to order their to-go food and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, very popular.
Maybe you do an opt-in instead of automatically give all the food.
That's another big
Just do
issue.
it.
Yeah.
Just have a little button where it says I need it.
You know who
Otherwise,
is
it's
doing
saying
it
they don't
already?
need it, which would be amazing, right?
Panda Express is already doing
Oh,
that.
what is
The
it?
opt-in.
Yeah, so you can choose because my wife, she went ahead and ordered dinner for us one night, and she was able to get us the compostable container for takeout.
So yeah.
Yeah, which was
that's
kind of
part it.
cool. Yeah.
So that's another thing we wanted to recommend as part of this it's not on here, but it's an opt-in where any online ordering, and we have a letter for you that we'll send to council a week before.
Okay,
Because that's pretty much when people look at things, right? Or,
yeah. I mean,
or a week or a day
if
before.
you're going 2 meetings ahead, most people aren't looking at it to that week, right?
Exactly. But that'll kind of has all of our bullet points of what we think would be a wonderful addition to this. But I mean, the majority is already here. It's just combining these two. But we have a few things that make sense and that Berkeley's doing and Seattle's doing, and so we thought it would be.
Yeah, so I think enforcement is for communication. Incentives. Yeah. So I mean, I think if you guys can think more about that.
Yeah. Who do we share ideas with?
Council. Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely write it up and we share with my staff.
What is your name again?
Bella.
Oh, Bella.
I emailed you originally, but I don't know. I
So
can.
you have Bella's info. Right.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely like ahead of the meeting is good. You have to figure this out at the meeting.
No. We want you guys to have a plan already in place
It's gonna
and
be difficult. Yeah.
already know where you're going with it and make it easy for you as much as possible.
Yeah.
So whatever information, thank you for suggesting that. We'll provide that to you.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mean, just those 3 areas. So communication, incentives, and enforcement. Because like the crux of a good ordinance is something that all of that's kind of incorporated in now, right? And simpler the better, right?
That's right.
Yeah, you keep it really simple and lower budget the better. In terms of like no full-time staff members have to do like a ton of work on it. That's right. Yeah, and that's hard to do, right? It's hard to it's easy to have a complex ineffective thing, but like it's hard to have something that's very effective and
But this was very helpful.
Thank you for your work on this, and I appreciate both of your work on this.
Thank you for sharing.
If I can do to help, just let me know.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
By the way, when did